All that pent-up pandemic demand has created chaos in the travel industry. Then bad weather made holiday travel challenging, and then came a raft of cancellations from cities, flights coming out of cities like Regina, Saskatoon, Calgary, and Vancouver. And now there's the issue of disrupting flights because airlines have a shortage of pilots. This is made worse by the rapid increase in discount airlines. The problem is set to become compounded in the coming years. So to find out why, we're joined by John Graddick, lecturer at McGill University's School of Aviation Management. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
I always appreciate our conversations because you are frank. I expect no different in this one. What are, first of all, some of the reasons behind the pilot shortage?
It's been going on for a number of years. It's about 10 years, and I think the biggest reason we have is retirements. Whether they're forced retirements or voluntary retirements, the pilots we have currently are older, and they're looking at retirement at age 65, and or earlier if they can financially get away with it. But I think that what's happening, the pandemic kind of exacerbated the problem a bit more. They laid off thousands of pilots across the industry, and now with the start of a number of new carriers into the Canadian marketplace and growth of existing carriers, guess what? We're short, and it's going to be a tough summer to try to find pilots in Canada.
And what happens if they can't find pilots? They just cancel the flights?
Cancel the flight. So you saw what happened over Christmas with Sunwing. I think that everybody was kind of dumping all over Sunwing for their cancellations and the delays. The root cause of that was they were looking for 63 pilots that they traditionally have brought in over the winter period on temporary work permits. Those were denied, and we saw the implications of that very, very quickly in Canada when we have all those cancellations and delays over the Christmas period. So pilots are a critical element to making successful schedules work.
This is not the only industry to be facing a lot of people at the top end of the scale retiring out, especially after pandemic. They're kind of, we're done. So then what can the industry do to attract more would-be pilots to the field?
We need some help in terms of looking at the programs we have in place to train pilots. It's not a cheap career to get into. It is costing people over $100,000 to basically get trained as a pilot.
Really?
And there's very little financial aid that's available to them. Like if you look for doctors or lawyers, there's a lot of provincial and federal financial aid. There isn't as much available for the pilot industry, so we need to change some of the rules around financial aid to make sure that people who want to get into this industry have some backing to get them into the training program.
That's interesting to note. We're learning that things could get even more serious if the airline industry doesn't get enough pilots to keep pace with demand, as you outlined. The airline industry, here's what we know. They need an additional 7,300 pilots in a couple of years, by 2025. So what will the future of travel look like if this supply of pilots continues to shrink, go in the wrong direction?
We won't have the growth that we expect, that the airlines expect to have. I think what's going to happen right now in Canada, and you're seeing it now, is that typically the national carriers, the Air Canadas and the WestJets of this world, basically go into the regional carrier pool of pilots and pull people out of those and promote them out of those regional carriers. Regional carriers go to the small local carriers, go to flight schools, grab instructors, grab pilots who are flying smaller airplanes, get them into the pool. But there's nobody starting up, and not enough people starting up at the bottom of the scale to get people interested in flying. So, and the starting salary for pilots, particularly with the low-cost carriers, is not attractive.
John, as promised, frank and honest conversation. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Have a great day. Take care.
You too.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.